Hello and welcome back for the season finale of ALR Season 15 Tier 6 here at Interlagos. We'll be having a 10-lap sprint race to start off the evening, and let's go through the grid here. In pole position we have our championship leader R8 in the McLaren, sporting a livery. I believe it will be the Constructors' Championship livery, as they have wrapped this up in the previous race. I'm pretty sure. Second place is the runner-up in the championship so far, Zelda. Third place for HK and the Mazda. Fourth place for Reuse Beer in the Huracan. I believe this is Reuse Beer's second race in AOR. That's a fantastic qualifying position in fourth. Lord Hands in fifth place, sporting a special Brazilian livery here for Interlagos. Chaos Druid, also a special livery in the Lexus in sixth place. Crackavelli in seventh place. Daniel Mouse in eighth. Danos in 9th place, Gabo in 10th, 11th for Jaden, 12th place for Boyan, 3rd for IGF, Nico Swagarelli in 14th place, Inorganic in 15th, and Airtown Jenna rounds up the grid in 16th position. And without further ado, let's get started here with the sprint race and see how the final will unfold. As the lights are out and away we go. Reuse Bearder at a moment, probably a bit of a false start. Great start from HK and Orak. Zelda keeps the inside line, manages to keep second place, at least so far. Bit of a moment there from IGF, and Reuse Bearder has actually fallen down to 12th place. Darla Jaden had a moment and a bit of damage now and down in last position, as out in front Orak manages to keep first place. Zelda had a wide moment, under threat now from HK, gets a bit of bump drive but gets also a 1 second penalty for going wide, and Danger Mouse up into 4th place already, as Lord Hands is in 5th. Nico Swagarelli up into 7th place, so that's a fantastic start from him. And a very unfortunate start for Reuse Beer there. Airdown Jenna has also a 1 second penalty, and Jaden is a bit further back after that damage he received. So coming through now the last corner, Orak is sitting comfortably in first place. HK actually had a move on the inside of Zelda even before the penalty line and manages to take second place. Third place for Danger Mouse, Lord Hand in 4th place. Chaos Druid manages to get past Zelda as well. And Zelda is now under threat from Nico as well. Due to that penalty he had, loses the position to Crackavelli as well. And on the brakes, Zelda manages to grab a hold of 7th position now and maybe start thinking about a recovery of the field. As we go a bit further up, HK will try and close the gap to Orak now. Further back, everyone seems to keep it nice and clean through these corners so far. Everyone seems to be settled a bit into their position, as IGF has a bit of a wide moment there in the corner, and now with the dirty tires may suffer a bit here. See Jaden has a 3.5 second penalty, so that's very unfortunate for him. HK sets currently the fastest lap at 32.4, has closed up the gap to Orak. Let's see if he'll be able to make something work down the short straight here. A bit too far back to benefit from the slipstream, as we actually see Danger Mouse and Killsword fighting for that position. Killsword held the inside line and takes third position off of Danger Mouse, as Zelda has managed to climb back up to 6th position and is now trying to find a way past Lord Hands perhaps, and just trying to take advantage of these cars battling in between each other. Danger Mouse definitely trying to find a way past, but it's a tight pack of cars here, so you have to both be looking out in front and behind you as well. This can lead to mistakes. As we see a few different lines there, but it seems Killswood got a better exit off of the final corner. Now Danger Mouse is under threat from Lord Hands and from Zelda as well. Lord Hands chooses to go around the outside, but maybe got too aggressive too early. And what a move from Zelda, dives down the inside, manages to get past Danger Mouse on the brakes, and Danger Mouse unfortunately loses 2 positions here, both to Lord Hands and to Zelda. About to try and do a switchback here at the end of the straight, got the inside line on the brakes, manages to take the position off of Zelda. Let's see if he'll be able to keep it. Side by side these two go, and now Zelda will have the inside line for this corner. Danger Mouse thinks better of it, slows down a bit, and lets Zelda take the corner. As we'll have a bit of look further down, Boyan is in 8th place, so he's actually moved up the grid. Airtown Vienna is in 12th, and Talajin has actually climbed up to 13th. I think Nico, Ryuzbeer and IGF have sure had some dramatic moments there to lose time like that. On to lap 5, nearing the middle of the sprint race. Orak still keeps hold of first place, lapping just a bit slower, about half a second slower on the last lap from HK, but manages to go the lead, goes purple in the first sector. As we see Killswood open up just a little gap ahead of Lord Hands there. As Danger Mouse has dropped off a bit off the back of Zelda. So Boyan actually catching up to Krakavelli here. Will maybe be thinking about a move. Coming out of the last corner, Orak seems to have had a good exit and good second sector, as the gap to HK has increased a bit here. It'll be interesting to see what the times are now on this lap. 32.2 for Orak and 33.2 for HK, so Orak has opened up a 1 second gap here. just on this lap, and now we're past the half point here in the sprint race. The tires on the McLaren and the Mazda, the Lexus as well, seem good. Everyone seems to be having good tire wear, so no one should be too worried about their tires here in the sprint race. As we see bit of a moment there from Zelda, so this is what I've missed. Zelda down to 10th place. Very unfortunate, was having a good drive. Boyan up to 9th, Gabon Crackavelli 8 and 7. As Kjellsrud being slowly but surely caught up by Lord Hans here. Orak seems to have opened up a bit of a gap to HK. We'll see at the end of this lap how their lap times are looking, but it does seem that Lord Hans is catching up to Kjellsrud. This second section of the track with the tight turns should definitely be benefiting that McLaren more than the Mazda. And out of the final corner we go now. Let's see if Lord Hans will be able to find some pace and a way to make a move on Kjellsrud. A bit too far back it seems to take advantage of the slipstream, as we have a close look at Boyan. Boyan has gotten past Crackavelli. Let's see actually what happens. So it seems that both Boyan and Crackavelli have penalties. Half a second for Boyan, 1.5 for Crackavelli, and this has actually allowed them to switch positions at the penalty line, but also crucially for Zelda, has allowed Zelda to get past both of them and take 7th place here at the start-finish straight. Checking the last lap times, Orak 2/10 faster than HK all the last laps, so the gap between these two has extended to about a 1.5 seconds. Lord Hans nearly identical time with Kjellsrud, so keeping steady behind him. And Dana's surely catching up to Danger Mouse little by little on these last few laps. The Renault strong in the second section of the track, but really suffering from the lack of a top speed on the start-finish straight, so overtakes will be hard. As we see now, Zelda trying to go around Gabo. Boyan takes a tighter line there, and there is autoplay here. Zelda takes the inside line of the fast corner, goes past Gabo before the braking zone, and now Boyan has a fantastic exit off of the last corner, but the Supra's acceleration at top speed are just too much and will not be able to take advantage of the exit of the corner there. Does anyone have a think about having a look on the inside? Gabo has a bit of a look on the inside, but couldn't get it to work, as we're having a quick look down the field. Jaden has been stopped with another 3-second penalty, which is really unfortunate for him. The this track can be very punishing at some of the corner exits. As we're seeing, Dana's trying to catch up to Lorhan's here, driving with a very solid pace. Krakovelli catching up to Boyan, who is trying to find a way past Gabo here. As we are rounding off the final corners of lap 8 out of 10 for the sprint race. Gabo manages to get a better exit, and it'll be interesting to see now Krakovelli into the slipstream of Boyan. That looked like a bit of a bump draft. Surely now has a look on the side, but thinks better of it. The Mazda not exactly fantastic on its brakes, so maybe Krakovelli wasn't feeling confident about a move under braking. But let's see now what will happen at the end of this race. Boyan having a bit of slipstream from Gabo to defend. Definitely helps from the top speed of the Mazda. And it's as they were, at least for the moment. Dennis has lost a bit of time to Danger Mouse on the last, but seems to be catching up now again. And we see that in the last lap, HK has actually caught up about half a second to Orak, so maybe HK has found some pace, but will it be too late to make something out of it here in the sprint race? We'll have to see, as we're about to start now the final lap of the sprint race around Interlagos. Lap time has been started. Bit of a wide line into turn 1 there by Orak. HK managed to keep it tighter in. Has allowed to close up a bit. Kyozu dropped off a bit there. Yeah, the gap seems to be just too much for the Mazda to overcome. As we see, Danis has set his personal best lap so far. Zelda in 7th place. Currently holds the fastest lap at a 31.8, which is nothing to feel bad about. Pretty good lap. And we see Gabo, Boyan and Krakovelli still fighting. Bit of contact there from Boyan and Gabo. Boyan decides to wait and let Gabo keep the position. Boyan felt he was at fault for this. As we will now join our race leader for the final corner. Actually, let's rewind a bit. Let's see what happened here. So Orak has a bit of a gap, but it seems that here on these final corners HK is able to close it up quite a bit. Great exit there from HK. Really close to Orak now, and it feels very close, but the overspeed will just not be enough. As Orak crosses the finish line in 1st place, HK takes 2nd, Kjellsrud takes 3rd place, Lord Hans brings it home in 4th. 5th place for Danger Mouse, Dennis in 6th, Zelda will take a 7th after a disappointing sprint race. Started from 2nd position but only managed 7 after a couple of mistakes. Krakovelli takes 8th place ahead of Boyan in 9th, 10th for Gabo, 11th for Inorganic. Nico manages to recover to 12th place after that bad start. Beer 13th place, disappointing race after the fantastic qualifying in 4th place. As we see IGF finish in 14th, 15th for R8 Argentina, and Jaden will bring it home with nearly dead front right tire in 16th place. Jenna, it seems, also had a tough time with the front right tire. Gabo as well. So it seems, yeah, a few of these drivers suffered with the tire wear. So that's it for the sprint race, and we will now jump over to the feature race, the final feature race here. Here we are for the final race of season 15 of ALR Tier 6, round 8, Interlagos, 26 laps, and we're having a reverse grid of the top 10 cars from the sprint race. So Gabo will be starting in first place, Boyan will be starting in second, Krakavelli in third, fourth for Zelda, Danos in fifth, Danger Mouse in sixth, Lord Hands in seventh, Chaos Druid in 8th, HK in 9th, and Orak will be starting in 10th place. 11th for Inorganic, 12th for Nico, Reuse Beer 13th, IGF in 14th, 15th for Eternjana, and 16th for Jaden. So it'll be interesting to see. All of these cars are on the medium tires. So without further ado, let's get started for the feature race here. And we're off. It seems like a solid start from everyone, as in the first corner, wide moment there from Dennis, I believe. Oh, unfortunate, Nico made contact with him on the rejoin. Reesbeard also had a bit of a moment. Very unfortunate there. I'm not sure if that was an issue with the rejoin or just cars not being aware of what was happening behind them. As we see, Gabo still keeping first position. Krakavelli managed to get past Boyan to take second position, as Zelda is in fourth. So let's ride on board here with Zelda for the moment, as we see Lord Hand swoop on the inside. Zelda forced a bit wide by Danger Mouse and loses the position to Chaos Druid there. HK tries to go around the outside, and Danger Mouse now goes on the inside of Lord Hands, I believe, and takes a position off him. Very tight back so far. Zelda very brave on the brakes on the inside for the final corner. Takes 5th place off of Chaos Druid, but now will be side by side with Chaos Druid, so these two will have to do quite a lot of work into turn 1 to manage their position. HK lurking in the background with the slipstream, trying to choose which way to go. 3-1 heading into the break zone for turn 1 as Chaos Druid had a bit of contact there. Zelda touched the rear of Chaos Druid and spun him around actually. Very unfortunate there. Zelda goes wide. And is Zelda waiting for Chaos Druid, or was that just... Yeah, that's very, very unfortunate to see. As we're seeing our championship leader in 7th place now, Aurak. Chaos Druid down in 14th after that unfortunate spin after the contact with Zelda. Crackavelli, bit of contact with Gabo and takes first position off him. Not sure if that was reported. It did look like a bit of a push pass, to be honest, as Gabo goes off into the nether realms. Boyan now in 2nd place behind Crackavelli, and Gabo disconnected there, very unfortunate. I'm not sure if that was an internet issue or a rage quit. It did look like internet issues. Just judging by the way he went off track. Sorry. So Danger Mouse up into 3rd place now, which is very good for him, and HK in 4th place chasing them down. Lord Hands up into 5th and Aurak in 6th with Zelda lurking behind. Follow our championship leader, at least for a moment. Some of these cars seem to have settled a bit into their pace. Crackavelli has opened up a bit of a gap on Boyan as Danger Mouse has now really reached up to the back end of that Porsche and trying to find a way past perhaps. Very different lines being taken around this corner. A very wide line by Danger Mouse there, perhaps a bit of contact with HK, not sure, but this gives Boyan in 2nd place a bit of breathing room, surely. See now Lord Hands all over the back of Zelda. Zelda defends the inside. Lord Hands tries to take the outside line but doesn't manage to make it stick. But will he get a better exit here than Zelda? Very close to the back of that GTR, but I'm afraid it just won't be enough to make a move under the brakes, as Nico has been hit with a 1 second penalty. Again, very, very unfortunate for Nico. Quite a few penalties for him in the sprint race, and unfortunate to see them in the feature as well. As Aurak has actually lost positions here to Lord Hands and Zelda as well. Join Danger Mouse and HK trying to find a way past Boyan here. great defensive line from Boyan, covered the inside nicely. But I'm afraid this time it might not be enough, as the slipstream here is very strong on the start-finish straight. HK is actually able to make a move on Danger Mouse on the outside and is already entirely ahead of Danger Mouse even before the braking zone. And we see HK does a move on the outside and manages to make it stick. Fantastic move there by HK into turn 1. Danger Mouse down to 4th position now. As Zelda in 5th is quickly catching up to these cars. HK went for the inside line, but this will now turn on the outside line for this corner. I think Boyan just slowed down here and let them pass as to avoid getting into trouble in this battle. And we see HK, Danger Mouse and Zelda all move ahead of Boyan. But their battle is far from over. This has allowed Orak and Jaden to actually catch up now to this little train of cars, and I'm sure that all this battling is definitely making Cracker Valley very happy out in front. Zelda now in the slipstream of that McLaren. Not close enough to make a move. Stays on the racing line. Danger Mouse parks it up a bit on the apex. But now Zelda seems to have a way better exit. Danger Mouse goes defensive very early and interesting defense there from Danger Mouse. He did close the door nice and early, but Zelda tried to still go on the inside further and was just shown the grass for that move. Interesting to see if that made it to the stewards or not. I would suspect not, but it was still an interesting defense from Danger Mouse. Orak has made it past Boyan as well, is now looking ahead at Zelda. And I believe if they finish as they are right now, this will be the championship sealed for Orak. So let's see, end of lap 6 now. Coming out of the last corner, bit of a bigger gap here in between these cars. Not sure if anyone will be able to find a way to make a move here. Danger Mouse takes a very tight line across these corners. Cracker Valley has opened up a sizable gap out in front, as HK is trying his bestest to close the gap. Trying to use all of the track and more to find a way past Danger Mouse, but so far at least Danger Mouse is defending very well, putting the car in all the right places, all the while not losing time to HK. As this time still not close enough to make a move here. So let's go a bit further back and see Dana's in the slipstream of that AMG. But the Renault suffers very much from its top speed. Wide turn one by Nico, and this has allowed Daniels to really close up on the corner exit here. Nico goes defensive very early, commits a lot to the inside line, and Daniels thinks better of it, but Nico parks it up on the apex there. Doesn't give any room to Daniels, nowhere to go for him. Airtown Jetta has a bit of a wide moment and really suffering on that front right tire. That's unfortunate to see. Fracavelli leading his teammate by a few seconds, lapping a bit slower, so that gap is closing. But I think the battles in between the cars at the start have really benefited Fracavelli, and this should be working great for him. Zelda not able to catch up to the back of Danger Mouse in that second sector of the track, and just not close enough to think of a move into turn one. As we see, pretty much everyone in this little pack of cars lapping identical times. Fastest lap is currently held by Orak at a 33.4, which is good lap on the medium tires, but surely Diesel can do better. Airtown Jetta actually decides to go into the pits on lap 8. As we see, Inorganic have a wide moment there, and this is allowed Reuse Beer to get the inside line, take the position, and Inorganic has been actually given 2.5 seconds for his troubles. That's very unfortunate for him, who lost the position and got a penalty. Nico is all over the back of Daniels, who's had found a way past him. Bit of argy-bargy there, pushes him wide, but had room on the curbs there, and Nico takes 8th place. Let's see, Airtown Jetta came back out on the medium tires, so I think maybe Airtown Jetta will be 2-stopping here. I'm not sure if that will be effective, but it does seem that Jetta is suffering a lot from tire wear. As we see, Fracavelli running up lap 10 right now, lapping into the 34s and 35s. HK solidly into the 34, so definitely closing the gap. We can see now surely, and Zelda has actually found a way past Danger Mouse, so let's see how that happened. Managed to be very close on the exit of turn 3, I believe, and in the braking zone got the inside line nice and clean. Danger Mouse tried the switch back, but couldn't get a good exit with the McLaren. Now Zelda is in 3rd place. We're looking forward to trying to catch up to HK. As we see, Lorenz, Juan, Kelsruet all driving their own pace. Daniels really fighting Swagarelli for that 9th place on the track. To seem to be pretty equal all pace. Reuse Beer in 11th now, having a bit of clean air due to Inorganic's penalty. Let's move ahead and look here at the battle for the podium positions. HK is slowly but surely closing the gap to Cracovali. Just about a second quicker than him, and Zelda 7/10 more even. So Zelda is really closing the gap now to HK. As we're in lap 11 of 26, be interesting to see if Zelda will be able to make the star work for 13 laps. An undercut on lap 12 could work, but it'd be very dangerous to try and get this second stint to be 14 laps on the medium tires. As we see R8 have a look on the inside of his teammate, but couldn't quite get a move done, as Zora had a bit of a moment there. Danger Mouse had a bit of a moment there, I think. Did it just move over his teammate? I'm not sure. Let's see if get a bit of a better camera angle there. Oh no, just spun it on the curb and the grass. Really unfortunate. But this has allowed his teammate to pass now. Kelsruth has closed a bit of the gap up to Boyan, but we see now Zelda a lot closer to HK, and likewise HK a lot closer to Cracovali. On the inside, on the brakes in turn 1, manages to get past Cracovali, but this has opened the door for Zelda as well. Zelda won't think twice about it, takes second position immediately off of Cracovali. So in just one corner, Cracovali has lost 2 positions here. As Zelda is already up to the back of HK. Lap 12 here, so it'll be interesting to see if Zelda can make a move stick even before the pit window, lap 13. And it seems that Zelda has a lot more fuel than HK as well, so HK really should have been short shifting that Mazda to preserve some fuel, wouldn't have lost as much acceleration, and now surely HK will lose a lot of time in the pits just because of refueling. Zelda doesn't even need to consider an overtake, will be able to get that position just by jumping in the pits. Cracovali is really low on fuel as well, so Lord Hans is at about the same fuel as the 2 Mazdas, but that's the BMW, and that's understandable because it's a very thirsty machine. So Danger Mouse decides to go into the pits on lap 12, so that'll be an aggressive undercut. It'll be interesting to see if Danger Mouse can make it work, and Chaos Druid comes in as well into the pits. Lap 13 now, fully expecting all these guys to come into the pits at the end of this lap. Zelda has dropped just a little bit off of the back of HK, at least for the moment, but that won't matter in terms of fuel. Of course, there's no way Zelda can know this at this point. Bit of a moment there on the exit of the corner. Front tires are really starting to suffer on that GTR. R8 in 4th will be able to probably jump Cracovali just in the pits on fueling alone. though the gap there is a bit bigger, might be possible. So let's see now. HK comes into the pits, Zelda as well, Krakavel as well, and Orak as well. So all of these cars come into the pits, Lord Hands as well. Be interesting to see where each of them comes out. Orak and Zelda have about 10% more fuel than the cars ahead of them, 15 even in the case of Zelda against HK. So everyone into the pits now. Let's see if Danger Mouse undercut worked. As we see Zelda come out in first place, and Orak actually managed to jump both Mazdas there, which is quite impressive. So Orak has gained 2 positions here just on refueling, comes out at exactly the same time as HK, but grabs the inside line off of the Mazda and takes 2nd position. So fantastic pit stop from Orak here. Krakavelli down to 4th, and Danger Mouse all over the back of Krakavelli. Would be maybe possible to make a move down this lap, but Danger Mouse should be thinking about that final 14th lap of the stint. As we see HK all over the back here of Orak after the pit exit. Very close for the Mazda behind the McLaren. Orak goes defensive quite early, tries to break the slipstream. Hugs the inside now, but HK has a lot of overspeed, and into turn 1, very late on the brakes by Orak, manages to get it stopped on the apex and gets a good exit out of the corner. Great defense by Orak there, and manages to keep 2nd place. Bit of a gap opened up to HK, so HK is not immediately able to make a move here as well. Deep on the brakes by HK, goes off track a little bit. It might be a penalty for HK. Yes, 1 second penalty, but that's very unfortunate for HK. One small mistake, and it'll really cost him, as Danger Mouse is now trying to find a way past Krakavelli. Takes a very different line here through these corners. This truck does lend itself to a few different lines. Aggressive on the inside line and on the brakes. Krakavelli opens the door, and Danger Mouse doesn't think twice about it. Takes 4th position, as HK will now serve his penalty. Surely has some overspeed on HK, but it's not enough. Manages to get it stopped again. A nice tight line by Danger Mouse here on these corners, but HK manages to grab a very good exit. And will keep hold of 3rd position. As we see, Zelda has lapped nearly a second quicker than Orak on that last lap. Going a bit further down, we see Lorhan still solidly driving into 6th place. Boyan keeping up with the pace of Lorhan's in 7th place. Fantastic drive so far from Boyan. I will not take credit for that commentator's curse, but that's very unfortunate spin from Boyan there, and I hope it doesn't lose a position. So very solid drive up until now to 7th position. Hopefully he manages to keep the position ahead of the Renault. So that's right on board with Dennis here, very close. Will Boyan defend? No, Boyan leaves the inside line open, and on the brakes the Renault. Oh, that's very unfortunate for Dennis. Spun on the exit of the corner, and now Rius Beer is having a much greater exit, but Boyan manages to park it up in the middle, and Rius Beer wanted to try the outside, but just couldn't. Wide moment there from Boyan. Rius Beer tries to take advantage of it and grab the inside line. Doesn't quite manage to do it. Fantastic battle here. Rius Beer aggressive on the curbs with that Lambo and deeper on the brakes, and manages to go around the outside. Boyan maybe braked a bit too early there. Might have tried for a deeper braking position just to make sure to cover off the apex, but it was a great move by Rius Beer. That Lambo has great traction, especially around tracks like this one. Very fast in the first and second section, able to take really aggressive lines and power out of the corners. A bit further back, Nico is in 9th position, Kjellsrud is in 10th, and Danius, after that mistake, is now trying to fight Ayrton Jenna for 11th place. We'll have another look at the battle between Boyan and Rius Beer here. Yeah, Rius Beer seems to be just slightly opening up the gap now. Rius Beer also has the fastest lap of the race. A 32.8, however, Rius Beer is on the soft tires, and I am pretty certain those won't make it to the end. Going further up the field, positions are still pretty much as they were. Orak has opened up a gap on HK, and Danger Mouse has fallen just a little bit off of HK, which has allowed Cracker Valley to get really close behind Danger Mouse, and we'll be probably starting to work for a move on Danger Mouse. Danger Mouse's tires a bit worse off here, but he did pit one lap earlier than everyone else, so that's a bit to be expected. gaps have opened up here a little bit. Beer has opened up the gap on Boyan here, which was expected, especially with the soft tires, but those soft tires will definitely not make it to the end, so Beer will probably pit again and lose positions here. Interesting where he comes out. As we see, Dana's coming to the pits, not sure why. Is that a second pit stop for Danis? Yes, surely the tires are looking too good. So Danis comes out on the soft tires, probably to have some fun, I don't know. And Ayrton Jenna comes into the pits. Did Ayrton Jenna forget to fuel on the previous pit stop? Comes out on the soft tires as well. Interesting strategies, and this will allow the race leader to actually lap Ayrton Jenna, I believe. Yeah, so Ayrton Jenna forced to let Zota pass because of the blue flags. A bit further back we see Danger Mouse. No, Danger Mouse got a 1 second penalty, and this will surely bring Krakovelli now into the fight as Reuse Beer comes into the pits. Wide moment there from HK, loses a couple of positions, and let's see if HK will get a penalty as well. So no penalty for HK. Crisis averted there for a bit, as this was definitely risky for grabbing a penalty on top of everything else, but losing 2 positions, not ideal surely. As we'll now see how the penalty will affect Danger Mouse. Surely Krakovelli will get past, but maybe HK will be able to grab that position as well. Yeah, HK was able to take the position off of Danger Mouse as well. So after all that, HK lost just 1 position to Krakovelli due to that mistake, and Danger Mouse lost 1 position as well. Krakovelli the big winner in these key corners there. This has all allowed Lord Hans to actually close up the gap to this little train of cars and start thinking about making a move for P5 here. Honda Briggs decides not to do anything too risky, but Danger Mouse now under a lot of pressure by Lord Hans, who goes around the outside. Their tire life between the BMW and the McLaren is just about the same, with the McLaren being 1 lap older tires. So that's either Danger Mouse managing them well, or Lord Hans using a bit more rubber than would be ideal. But either way, these two are now locked into a battle. As we round off lap 22 of 26, just 4 more laps remain. Zoda has managed to once again, like in the previous round, drive off with dominant pace up into the lead of the race. Lord Hans really close now at the exit of the first corners here. Should be thinking about an attack down the end of the straight. too far back. Maybe the exit just wasn't good enough. Let's have a quick look of the field. R8 essentially driving on his own in second place. About the same pace as Zelda, a few slower laps, but under no pressure at all. Neither catching up to Zelda nor losing time to Crackavelli behind, as HK will be fuming for that mistake, going wide there and losing the position to his teammate. Boyan up into 7th place after Ryusbeer made that second pit stop, and Ryusbeer is now down in 10th place. And I'm not sure Ryusbeer will be able to actually gain ground back after that pit stop. As we join in a nice battle between Nico and Kjellsrud here. I'd have to agree, Lord Hans, no point leaving rubber on the tires, as long as you keep it on the track, though, of course. I mean, better leave it on the track rather than off track. Kjellsrud now really close behind Nico. In the slipstream, Nico goes defensive nice and early. Does a bit of a switch back to the outside line of the corner. And this should be a slam dunk move for Kjellsrud. Brakes nice and late. Manages to get the position, and now a good exit on the back straight. Going defensive nice and early, but at the end no need to go defensive, as well as corner exit was good enough, and there was no way Nico could actually catch up to that, so that was a fantastic move there by Kjellsrud. Nico actually went wide and sadly got a 1 second penalty there. Danger Mouse has now solidly fallen off the back of HK and is very busy fighting Lord Hans for 5th position, as Lord Hans had a bit of a moment there. Let's see what happened on the brakes. Yeah, goes up the power and the rear touches the grass a little bit there. Very unfortunate. Lord Hans was in a great battle with Danger Mouse there for 5th position, and I'm sure Danger Mouse has breathed a big sigh of relief there after that mistake by Lord Hans. HK lapping about the exact same times as Crackavelli, not able to make progress as Airtown Jenna obeys blue flags, makes way for the 2 Mazdas and the McLaren. Okay, a quick look at the leader here. Nearly a second faster per lap, starting off the final lap of the race, 26, enjoying a second dominant drive after Nordschleife. R8 driving a bit on his own in second place, doesn't quite have the pace to catch up to Zelda throughout the race, and not under any pressure from behind, as HK is definitely unhappy with the results of going off track there, losing the position to his teammate losing the podium position, and they are now driving at about identical pace, and just nothing HK can do to get that position back. As we will join our race leader for the final corners here. Fantastic drive from Zelda. Started off very well. Not a great sprint race in Interlagos, but on the feature race, absolutely untouchable. Takes a dominant win for the final feature race of the season, and we have our championship leader Aurak in second place. 13th for IGF. Krakavelli takes a very satisfactory place ahead of his teammate HK. For Danger Mouse brings it home in 5th. 14th place for Airtown Jenna. Lord Hands reaches the finish line in 6th place. A fantastic drive from Boyan. What a way to end the season with maybe his best result so far in AOR. Might be wrong about that, but I'm sure he'll correct me if I'm wrong. 7th place for Boyan, fantastic drive around Interlagos. Chaos Druid takes 8th place. Nico taking 9th place, and Reuse Beer in 10th place. Inorganic finishes off 11th here at Interlagos, and in 12th place we have Daniels crossing the finish line. And with that, the championship for Tier 6 Season 15 of AOR is complete. We have our championship winner Aurak with 255 points. Huge congratulations to Aurak. Drove a fantastic season. Second place for Zelda with 217 points. Had a few bad, or rather a little bit inconsistent races in the middle of the season, and a few lost points there. Third place in the standings for Danger Mouse, Aurak's teammate. Great race, great season, 181 points. And in the Constructors' Championship, we have first place for the McLaren team, second place for the BMW team, and third place for the Lexus team. And with that, our season is over. Thank you very much for joining me for all the races throughout the season, and I hope to see you in a few weeks' time for season 16 of AOR. Thank you and good night.